Hey, TikTok. Proof is what matters, right? So this is, you'll see the filing date on this is February 5th, 2024. Who's the person asking for protection? That would be me. Who's the other person? That's the social worker for Napa County. That's the case number, 22FL000087. That matter is consolidated into 22FL000257. And then, okay, so you'll see the date, February 5th. Now, I got to cover up the address. This is that person on February 27th, 2024. So the courts are supposed to take that into consideration. If you file for an order, then 3 weeks later, somebody vexatiously comes and file for an order. That's supposed to be taken into consideration. But that number, 24FL000144, those were both consolidated into 22FL000257. That's the issue that's before the Court of Appeals. So they were both consolidated and they were both put into 22FL00257 and they're under appeal. So the Napa County is trying to circumvent due process. Now you'll notice there's no name on these things. Look at it. It just says judicial officer. Like, what is that? Like that, you're supposed to be a stamp or something on here, a name. Do you see any judge's name here? Nothing. It just says judicial officer. That's it. Like, how are you even supposed to know who the judge is? Custody in this case, 22FL000257. She threatened my personal safety on 2 separate occasions. Both times I went to law enforcement to make a record of the threats. She demanded that I not bring up her past in court proceedings that were in our path. Did anyone else hear or see? I have a recording. The dates. She violated. That's the federal law that she violates by her making the threat against me. I know you guys won't understand that, but I think people are starting to get the gist, right? So if you've ever been law enforcement or conducted ops on behalf of law enforcement, it's a federal crime to threaten one of those individuals. So look, other orders that I not be mandated to surrender my location once I move from the residence. Her threats of violence are relative to proximity and location. And I asked that she, let me see, where's the other one right here? When we went into court, I asked that she remove the tracking software that I found that she had placed in my son's devices. Now look, then she goes and files retaliatory on February 27th. And I'm going to show you the signature on that one. It's none other than that same signature, no names, but it was determined that it was Robert Stamps. And who's Robert Stamps? But the then commissioner who undid the crime that her and this dude, this inmate, this federal fugitive that was an inmate on her caseload at the halfway house in San Diego, for all the crazy stuff that him and his wife and these other people did, he ends up at the halfway house. She strikes up a relationship with him, abandons her kid, runs off with this dude, and then gets 2 DUIs and eventually gets arrested with him for the same stuff that he was in her custody with. She was lying to her employers, leaving all that stuff out, didn't tell them, left it all out, and then didn't tell Napa County in her disclosures, which it says that they have to, even if things were adjudicated or whatever, they have to disclose that information. And clearly that didn't happen. And clearly Christine Briseño did not do an effective background check. And Christine Briseño is trying to hide all this, as is Napa County, because if you sent people out to testify or to do investigations and do removals and had access and privilege to privileged information, and was coming into the court and testifying on behalf of the county, which then granted these same judges the authority to take people's children when she had her child taken away for equal or greater things than what they've done in the county of Napa.